have the credibility to stand on my own 2 feet and to say, let me just go do this. I wish I did. But the reality is that that was a value proposition that the community needed to see in order for this to be able to work. So started shopping around. What organizations are in Orlando that have something like this as part of their mission? So, as you can tell, I went to the Orlando Economic Partnership, and the VP of Research, I knew him from my days at Nexus, importance of networks. And so I told him, like, hey, you know me, you know the kind of work that I do, been trying to figure this out, been doing my own business model canvas, have more than 150 interviews, I've done 3 pilots, I think that this could really work, but we need a partner, an anchor organization that can really pull this through, not just at a local level, but spread it through Central Florida. That was my vision, at least. So I presented it to the leadership team 2 weeks after I met with him, and they hired me a week later. And pretty much after I did the presentation, mind you, I didn't have a company formed. I didn't have any staff. I didn't have anything other than the data that I had brought because of the methodologies and the frameworks that I had used, like business model canvas and lean, and 3 pilots that I did in the community. And I got people to show up. I got surveys and feedback sheets to show for it. So I had proof of concept. I had some traction. Could I have done this on my own? Yeah. Would it have been as big or as impactful? No. So they said, and to my pleasant surprise, they were like, okay, I don't know why we wouldn't do something like that. We need to offer more innovation kind of programming, but we're not going to be hypocrites, and we're going to do it internally. And I'm very happy to say that we use this throughout the organization. We've used it for several programs where at the beginning, it would have been a resource for resources' sake. So just to give you a very quick example, Leadership Orlando is the largest leadership program in the nation. And we have, next year, it will be class 100. We have over 5,000 alumni. We started seeing alumni come back to that program because it had been like 20 years since the last time they did it. And so we're like, okay, well, we're seeing that there's a demand for a second program. So the line of thought was, okay, let's do kind of like a collective leadership certification. And they went down that line and all of that. Then I entered the picture, and the methodologies entered the picture. And after doing informational interviews and surveys, we realized no one wants a certification at that level, because these are executives or managers. They don't care about that. They want to make a difference. That's what they want to do. So flipped everything around and it became the Impact Project. 24 leaders in Orlando, and they chose to address social mobility. So how do you actually go from access, so it's economic social mobility. That explains a little bit more. So it became part of the chamber. And kind of that's where I finished my story. And then here's where I'll transition into talking a little bit more about Orlando and the awesome city that we all live in and how you can take advantage of those resources. So that's my passion. And one last thing I want to leave you with is depending on what your purpose is and how you want to look at it, there's a way to figure it out. Just have to test it and have that persistence to actually reach it. So as you guys have so many skills, and I saw the agendas for today's, most of it is very technical. Those are tools that you can use to do whatever you like. All you need to do is take a look at that side and try to understand it in order to be able to address it. All right, so before I get into Orlando, I would like everyone to stand up really quick. All right, so we've made it more than halfway, and I'd like for you to say, congratulations, we're in DevFest, community's awesome, high five the person next to you. Yeah, high five the other person next to you. All right, get that energy up. Great, you can sit like that. All right, so get the blood a little bit pumping. We're reaching the end of my talk. So welcome to the Orlando You Only Thought You Knew. So our marketing team is incredible. They did a lot of these slides. The tagline that they've created for Orlando is "You don't know the half of it." Because usually people think Orlando, they think Disney and all of that. So let's break that mold. let's leverage the magic, but there's so much more. So, got a little video here to show you first.
Okay, time for reality check. Time to toss aside what most people think Orlando has to offer. This is a pretty place to... Okay, time.
1 second. All right, one last try.
Okay, time for reality check. Time to toss aside what most people think Orlando has to offer. This is a pretty place to vacation. It's also an amazing place to live and a smart place to do business. Orlando is home to thinkers and innovators. After all, this is the region that took man to the moon. We have big-time dreamers and exceptional leaders who come together to accomplish great things for the community. Orlando's population is exploding. Our people are young, educated, experienced, hardworking, diverse, and talented. Sure, we believe in magic, but most of all, we believe in the power of imagination. We know how to get around because we believe in planning for the future, charting our own course, staying ahead of our explosive growth, connecting people and moving products. Our bold vision has gotten us this far. We think smarter and play harder. Welcome to the Orlando you only thought you knew.
Yeah, so that's made by the Orlando Economic Partnership, and to really start breaking that mold. So just really quick background on what is the Orlando Economic Partnership. So about 2.5 years ago, the Regional Chamber of Commerce and the Economic Development Commission merged. And so they said, why are we working so separately? Let's go under one organization and make a larger impact in the community. So that's the Orlando Economic Partnership. So, and I'll go over some of the benefits that you guys can use right away, a little bit later on. Okay, so the vision of it and the purpose of the organization is broad-based prosperity. How can we create these platforms to truly have people bounce off to do so? But having that access through merit-based versus just, I know this person, trust me enough, and then we got that meeting, and that's the exception, not the rule. So the first pillar we have is strengthen the economy. So growing the jobs, foster the entrepreneurial community, supporting business growth, and housing that talent pipeline that's so important. Amplify the stories, so changing those perceptions and then getting the word out. So a lot of the efforts that the marketing team does is national and international. How can we attract more people here and start seeing that other side of the story? Championing regional priorities. So who's heard of Bridge before? No? Oh, interesting. So Bridge is one of 4 advanced manufacturing facilities of its kind in the United States. And so this is a state-of-the-art kind of technology where you can develop kind of any product, test it, integrating sensors. Don't quite understand the technical part of it, but what I do know is that they create very small chips and sensors that you can integrate into anything. That's what I understood about it, at least. So that's helping bring more of that manufacturing side so that you don't have to go to China or anywhere else and safeguard your intellectual property. Then we have empowering leaders. So it's part of that Leadership Orlando that I just talked about, now 2.0. Establishing, we have the foundations for Orlando's future so that we can go after opportunities to grow the entire region. We have research, so this is one of the benefits that you guys can access. We're a public-private partnership. 70% is private, and the rest is public. What that means is that if you have any questions about research, we have a pitch book, by the way. If you have any questions about research regarding your marketplace, your potential customers, or anything you want to find out about the city, we will provide that for you guys for free. Just reach out. You can reach out to me. I have my email at the end that you can check out, and just let me know and I can connect you to the right person within the partnership. So that, and then building a brilliant region. And so that means enhancing from autonomous vehicles to technology for wellness to pretty much a 21st century talent ecosystem. It's all who does it. It's all about people. That you can have many processes, but who executes is people. And that's what's most important. So those are our pillars. And I'll go into more of the industries that are in Orlando and hopefully break some of the concepts, or if you didn't already know about some of these, that for you guys to realize for either potential customers or partners or just cool things that are happening. So only 20% of employment is hospitality and leisure in Orlando. That's myth number one. 20%. 80% is everything else. So what is that 80%? So we have headquarters here from Darden to Deloitte, Red Lobster, Tupperware, that they're headquartered here. I'll go a little bit quicker on these because I just got a time warning. So information technology, more relevant to you guys. We have 500 companies, over 700 graduates, over 17,000 employees, and 500 million in annual payroll. Life sciences, over 8,400 companies are here. Advanced manufacturing that I just talked about, it's not just the factory, but actually people that use it and that have a lot of government contracts. Something I didn't touch on, we have one of the biggest research triangles in the nation. Right next to UCF, we have an Army research lab, an aviation research lab, and a Navy research lab. In Lake Nona Medical City, the Veteran Affairs Hospital is there. They have a simulation learning center that whatever gets implemented there gets implemented in all of the Veteran Affairs hospitals around the nation. There's a lot that happens here. Modeling and simulation and training. So obviously going from military all the way to hospitality, we're starting to call this kind of like the experience economy. And that's something that we can truly leverage in all kinds of industries. So yeah. And then the last thing I wanted to mention regarding our awesome ecosystem is the amount of talent that we have. So we have 550,000 hired students within 100 miles of Orlando. Any kind of headquarters or people that want to come here, anybody that you want to hire, there's access to that, and there's a lot of education going on. So, yes, faster. So engage with us. If you go to orlando.org, that's our website, I would highly recommend that you sign up for our newsletters. Obviously, newer newsletters and any hub of the ecosystem will really inform you about what's going on. We push out a lot of different opportunities and events and ways that you can connect through that. We have an upcoming Orlando Tech Grant, and that's $65,000 that the city has put aside in order to invest in the ecosystem. So if you have an idea or you already have something that you're working on that helps educate, bring access to capital, enhance platforms so that people can do more building within economic development, and that's a grant you should definitely be looking at. So then definitely get in our newsletter to find out when we're opening it up. We have the business development team. So the business development team usually works with companies that are at least about 10 people and they're growing. And so they're able to help find you office space, go through the permitting process, reach out to get more talent pipeline, figure out if there's any state incentives. I always say, even if you don't think you may need them, they can put a packet of amazing information for you. The worst case scenario is that you don't use it. Best case scenario, saves you time, money, and energy. So check them out. They're amazing and wonderful people to meet. I know I'm biased, but and the Orlando Regional Chamber. So obviously there's a lot of chambers, but we have, with the Idea to Profit program that had brought to the chamber, there's a lot more innovation programming that's happening. We're actually going to do next year a 3-day workshop to teach lean for lawyers. So we're bringing this to mainstream industries, to startups, to the corporations, and so that the culture of our entire community can start opening up to say, okay, let me see let's try this out within my company. And if it works, let's talk more. But opening that up so that companies have that system to try things out. And that's a culture shift more than anything. So the chamber's awesome. We have Synapse Orlando. Did anyone here go to Synapse this year? A couple people, maybe? All right, so Synapse is an innovation and tech conference that this year, it was the first year we did it. Next year will be the second year. We had over 1,200 people. It was, fantastic. There you go. All right, so check it out. We have the date for next year. It's October 16th, 2020. We're having all kinds of organizations, both local as well as international, coming to speak. And we matched Synapse with Immerse. Anyone know Immerse? A few more people, okay. Better, that's been going on for many years. So Immerse is one of my favorite things in Orlando. It's once a year. They close down part of downtown Orlando, and the creative arts and tech community come out to the streets. Hallways become entire experiences. OUC sponsors like a light kind of thing that it's just really cool. We had Blue Man Group come out. Cirque du Soleil was hanging off of cranes right in the middle of downtown. It's really cool. It's for 2 days. So what we did was match up with Immerse so that you go to the conference throughout the day, you literally walk out into Immerse. So check it out. It's October 16th, 2020. And the last thing and most recent thing that we actually have stood up is the Orlando Tech Council. And these are the major corporations that the CIOs and CTOs to get together and find out how can we all see how we can help the community. How can we create more access and just start talking to each other. So if you guys know any CIOs or CTOs that are interested in speaking to other larger corporations in Orlando, let me know. Really quick, next weekend is Startup Weekend. If you have any kind of ideas, it gives you a weekend to try it out and experiment. It's really fun. It's from Techstars. So that's next week. Check it out. Just put Startup Weekend Orlando and you'll find that. And thank you. This is my email. And I also wanted to thank just the entire team for putting this together, Anita and Hendrix and everybody else, and NeoAir Studios and Dan. This is truly incredible. And thank you all for bringing the entire community together and creating intentional sparks. Thank you.
So, in the interest of time, I just want to highlight 2 important things. First of all, thank you so much for supporting us, coming to DevFest. But more importantly, you're going to see some people among you with like yellow and sort of orangey looking. Those are volunteers, and if you say volunteers there, please, give them a shout out just to let them know how we, as a community, we appreciate their effort today. Another important item, there's 2 QR codes on your badge. One of them has a schedule. You use your camera on your phone, you point at it, you will get the schedule. The other one has a map of the mall, so in case you get lost. But it shouldn't happen. It's just this walkway here, we just going one side to the other. The other important thing is that I realized being here early and sort of walking back and forward, we all gonna be really healthy on Monday. So I appreciate that. Michael, you have that. And let's introduce our next speaker. Michael's gonna do that. Thank you.
Just wanted to offer just a few closing notes and whatnot. First off, and again, thank you, Vanessa, for sharing your passion for empowerment. Really love that, startup attitude applies to all companies, not just startups, but we could be entrepreneurs as well. Did also want to say Capgemini will not be joining us today. So pretty much the raffle ticket situation is connect with tech systems, make sure that you leave your raffle ticket with them. That will then connect you into the prize situation and whatnot. And again, thank you so much, Vanessa, for kind of sharing the network and the richness of Orlando. And I encourage you, everyone, today, explore that network today. This is what it's all about. And be intentional about being a go-giver today. Find some way to help someone else today. So with that, we'll break and we'll start next talk in just a moment. Thank you.
We always end it by saying, let's have a magical DevFest. So everybody, thank you.